Hey y'all, I know it's been a minute. I was doing my own cards this morning and I was like, oh, I should do this for everybody. Because I haven't been on here in a minute and I'm getting ready to also make a transition in what I use this channel for. So I'm excited to tell y'all about that, but I will talk about that at the end because I know what you're watching for. And so the topic is, drum roll please. Okay. What card reflects this year for me? And what will I become because of it? I know that was a good topic. All right. So, first thing, y'all ready? All right. So the first question is, what did this year reflect for me? Like, what card represents this past year? Oh, wow. Okay, so we got two cards. We got the Emperor in reverse, but we're not reading reversals in a traditional sense. I'm going to read it as our medicine cards. And then the Hia of Earth, which is like the Page of Pentacles. So automatically when I see the Emperor, I think of foundations. I think of structure. I think of like authority, like personal authority. And what's funny enough is this card has been coming up a lot for me in the last few weeks. And one of the things that's in this deck that it talks about is owning your authority, owning your ability. And because you've got this Page of Earth or He of Earth, Page of Pentacles, and what she's doing, or he or they, I can't see the person, I don't know, but they're building. They're taking this twine and wrapping it around. It's probably not even twine, it's probably pieces of the tree. But this sustainable material and building a structure. And so we always know that the Page brings news. The Hia brings news. And this news is about foundations. This blessing, this new way of doing things is about how you build. And this 4 represents stability as well. So you've got a lot of stability, structure, and foundations in here. And so this year, to me, seems like you've kind of taken the reins into your own hand in order to build something new. And maybe it's something that you didn't know that you could do or you didn't think that you could do. But you started doing the little things consistently in order to build that. You started dabbling here, dabbling there, and realizing that you do have control over your situation a lot more than you think you do. And so this year was about showing you how, teaching you how, learning how, understanding how. Because when I'm also thinking about news or Page, I'm thinking about the information that's coming to you, the messages that are coming to you. And so harnessing those messages and turning them into something physical is kind of how I see that card. And then with the Emperor beside it, it even more emphasizes this ability to create structure, to have structure, to fall into alignment with that can sustain you, that can hold you. So this might be the beginnings. This is the beginnings of a lot of new things in your life, and new ways to be resourceful. And so whether it is physical resourcefulness, whether it is mental resourcefulness, whether it is financial, but you have learned how to be resourceful, and you've learned how much power you have over your ability to be resourceful, to call in those resources, or to figure out a way to make it happen. So kudos to you, because this could be the start. So let's pull an oracle card to go with that, to sum it up for me, because sometimes it'll help me get in the exact right direction for this one. So let's see what we got. Um, Two wanted to come out again. So you got the shift. This card is the shift. The shift always talks about a new perspective. It always talks about, I wouldn't say karmic patterns, but just like this need to happen in order to see things differently. So perspective shift, physical shifts. And I love that he's bathing in the water, because shifts are never easy, but it's helping you to create some flow along with some stability in all that is changing, because shifts are things that like upend our whole lives. They're like the tower cards. But there's always something on the other side of that we couldn't see, but we knew this thing needed to happen. And so then you got Birch, which is about, was also about grief. It's about, you know, with this coming together, it's grieving the shifts, grieving the new ways of doing things, grieving the responsibility of owning your own authority, of being the one who can move things for you or put yourself in positions for things to move. But with that comes the grief of what used to be. It comes the grief of what won't be anymore, or the changes that you had to make in order to be present with this version of yourself in this personal authority. And so, yeah, I'm thinking in the new year, you're going to get some relief, because it seems like there's been a lot of work here. And I know we didn't have any fire cards, but when you think about foundations, when you think about resources, when you think about building, when you think about releasing and shifting, all of that is work. These are not simple cards. These are heavy work cards. Having to step into your own personal authority, be your own boss, be your own person. And that's what this might be about, is entrepreneurship with this own your authority. That's what I think about when I see that card. But this Emperor card, and I remember somebody saying before, I can't remember where I heard this at, but it was like, a lot of us are trying to move out of like these structured dynamics, or maybe like the Hierophant kind of situation, or systems of control and things like that. But there are pieces of the system that you naturally, I won't say have to embody that, but that do come with the space that you're trying to move to. There are pieces of structure that are still required in the work that you want to do. And so every time I look at this card, I think about what it takes to build from the ground up. And so there is a big shift in perspective. There is a lot of grief on, I remember with my coach, I always had this issue with the word responsibility, because I'm like, I don't want to be responsible for that. And so this feels like a shift of responsibility. Like, you are responsible now. And it's not this heaviness of you don't have any help. It is realizing how many resources you got around you, how much help you have around you. It's asking the question of what you need. It is moving in a way that allows you to collaborate with life, collaborate with the people that come into your life. So that is what represents this past year. And so I'm not necessarily doing, what to expect for next year, because I feel like there's a lot of information on that. Like, you can probably figure out or feel or sense what to expect. But in a sense of what will come of this thing, like you've been working towards, that you've been doing, the shift that you have made from that perspective, the grief. And that's another 4. I just realized that Birch card is another 4. So this is a lot about your stability. This is a lot about your foundations. This is a lot about how you will sustain. So and I think this is a big topic for everybody. That's why it's coming up here. I know it's a topic for me. I'll just share with y'all transparently. My cards this morning was, what was it? It was, I'm going to come back to it. It's going to come to me. I forgot. All right. So let's come back to y'all. All right. What will happen because of it? Like, what will come of this that happened this past year? You got Ace of Air. Do we want to do 1 card? We've been doing 2. 2 have been coming out. All right. And the 10 of Earth. That's nice. That is very nice. simply just looking at that without diving too deep. These new ideas, and a lot of the times the ideas that you resist, the ideas that you don't think are powerful enough or potent enough, because you got the Ace of Air. Swords are all about your thoughts, your ideas, your sometimes even anxiety. And that's where anxiety stems from, is a thought. And so there's some resistance in it. I know I said I wasn't reading reversals, but this did come out reversed and it was the first card, so I gotta say that. But a lot of times reversals are resistance. And so some of these things that you weren't sure about, that you didn't know how it would work out, you end with the Ten of Earth, which is like everything works out. Everything falls in line. You build the family you wanted. You build the foundations you wanted. You build the stability, the business that you wanted. This is like happily ever after. I don't know what other word to use. It's like happily ever after. It's not, without work, without responsibility, but it is the thing that you wanted. And it is the thing that sustains you. Like, this is all about that thing that sustains you. Like, that success, that perfect situation. I think it's perfect, but y'all know what I'm saying. That situation that sustains you. And it's because you built up to this 10. You built up to this 10. You started, maybe that's what my card was before. I don't remember. But you started, thinking of it like from the Ace. And that's what, I like this. Because it actually goes along with what I was about to say. So you started from a thought. You know how like in the movies they depict this person like sitting out there and they're just thinking, they're just wondering like what could be. And it started with a thought. And you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. That may not happen like that. That don't seem reasonable. And then here you built something like, and this is the Ace. The Ace is your starting place. It's the possibilities. And it was just a thought. And like how powerful your thought became because you brought it into the tangible. You brought it into the physical realm. And look at all these resources that are gathered just because of that thought. And so resources are always about your ability to sustain yourself, sustain the things you care about, what you love. And so whatever that new idea is that you have, that you're resisting tapping into, that one is what's about to come to fruition because of everything that happened this past year. Now, in a perfect world, the next question would be like, when is this going to happen? That's not my spot. That might be another reader for you. All right, let's get an oracle card to talk about what will become of it. Balance. You got the Three of Balance. I'm going to just stick to, because we've been doing 2 cards, so I'm going to stick to 2 for both. You got balancing. I hear sacred balance because you got balance and then you got ceremony. And the ceremony card always reminds me of alignment. It always reminds me of slowing down. It always reminds me of like prayer. This isn't the prayer card, but ceremony is like intention. It is the sacredness. It is slowing down to be present. And this is about balance. And so this will literally bring balance to your life. Balance is here. And balance comes in this sacredness, in this ability to slow down and focus in on what's important to you, to create ritual around everything. Everything is a ritual, and I think sometimes we think ritual, we think about this long drawn out process, this plan to do things, but it is a coming together. Like one of a ritual that I did that I didn't recognize was a ritual was when I used to go walking. I used to stop at these trees. There's a spot that's kind of like a nice view. I just stopped there and I just stay there for a second with my dogs. And eventually, by the time I left, and I'm there maybe 5 minutes, maybe not even that much. By the time I left that spot, I had got a message. I wasn't even asking a question, but I had got a message. And so I created a ritual doing that. And so it's almost like Spirit knew in this spot, like this is a meeting spot. And so that was the ritual. It's like, I'm going to meet you here. We just going to chill. We just going to talk and see what happens. And I didn't even really have to say anything. I just listened. It was almost like this commitment to meet here in this spot to create this sacred intention. And in this space, I was giving myself the opportunity to receive. And all of that comes from ceremony, from slowing down, from 444, and being present with what's happening in your life, what's trying to come to you, the balance that you're bringing in. And so I think that's the most important thing. When you feel ungrounded and out of whack and everything's all over the place and you're trying to make a thing happen, when somebody tells you like balance is on the way, you are getting balanced. When you're getting centered, you are getting grounded. That thing that you're working towards is actually going to work out. That changes everything for you. That creates a new sense of hope, a new sense of being, a new energy to continue to move forward. So that's what this past year reflected. And then this is what will become because of that. You will have balance. You will have the resources you need. You will have the space to create sacred intention in everything you do and in your day. And I think that's what's most important, is being able to create the life you want. And that's what this says, is that from an idea, from one space, from a beginning, a starting point, you have been able to build the life you want. And this is not like, I'm not even trying to romance this card pull or anything like that, but it's true. Because I think sometimes when we romance things, we forget like this pain, this uprooting of the structure, these shifts, these tower card moments are all a part of creating the life that you want. And so like you've been doing that this whole year. That's what you've been working on. And so like things are coming into balance for you. That's just what it is. So I hope that that's some medicine for you before you go into the new year. So happy early new year. I'll see y'all in the new year. The new thing that I wanted to talk about that I was going to be doing is more inviting you into my space, in a sense of in the kitchen while I'm making things and doing things. And it's kind of like a mini podcast. And the name of it is going to be Synchronicity, where all things come together. And synchronicity has been one of those things that's always been on my heart. That's always been something I wanted to do. I wanted to name my first tea business that. I didn't get to do that. And so this feels like the space of where all things come together. The season of my life where all things come together. And I want to share that with you. Where I'll be pulling cards. We'll talk about some books that I've read, have different topics. We'll have a little fun. We'll make some stuff in the kitchen. But I want it to be more like a video podcast, interactive, but also you can listen to it. And so it's a place for me to share the journey. I'm not necessarily in the space to teach you, but I mean, when you interact with people, you get to know their stories and their journey, you learn from it. And so I want it to be a fun, like, tea shop experience, virtual tea shop experience. So I want y'all to join in. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because I'm going to be shifting the name. I'm going to be shifting what we're doing here. We'll all still have the cards, but I want to create like a full experience around it. I want to create ritual, ceremony around this experience, this connection, this community that we're creating in this space, because I am not giving up on creating the life that I want in the space that I want. So cheers to you guys. Next time, make sure you bring your tea, because you'll need it for the episodes. All right. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I'll see y'all next time, next year, in a new space. And so, yeah, I'm excited. Happy New Year.